morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. A very big thank you to my traders for sharing the videos and making it more exposed because a lot more people saw it. For those of you who are in the installment group, please help share it as well. You are going to help somebody who's not as fortunate as you to be able to do this. There was a request for me to extend it, and not one, there's a lot of requests, a lot of messages. I haven't answered to all the messages. So if you're one of the people who wrote me that request and I didn't answer to you, I'm extending it. You're watching this video today and I'm extending it. I'll extend it to the end of this month. That's 2 weeks. And after that, I think you guys would have enough time to make your decision if you want it forever, which means if you want to have this every day, if you would like to have this every single day, you can join us on the installment program. The installment program is absolutely cheap. It is very cheap. It is only $200 a month. And that is not for the videos. The videos are free. That is for you're paying for the course. You're paying for the course, upcoming next course that you can afford to, in small terms until you've until you've saved that amount of money. Once you've reached that sum of money, you get to join us in our group and you get everything for lifetime free. You get to do the course and the rest of it, the amount of time you would have and the amount of all the sessions you're going to get and the Q&A, everything else you have in the group is complimentary, and you don't have to worry about that. You can stay with us as long as you want until you're very confident that you're a super trader and you don't want to be in a group anymore. Right? That as much as you can do. So what is the 200 for? It goes towards paying for your course. While you're doing that, I will give you these daily webinars free. Now, again, you're not paying for education. I keep telling people it's not about selling courses because you can't pay for the course. You can't pay for the education. That's not something you can pay for. You can pay for my time. So you'll be paying for 6 weeks of my time. That's all. Every single hour after that I gave you in the room, it's free. And I'm telling you about years and years of 3, 4, 5, 6 hours a day. All of that would be free for you because 1 hour you get in the daily webinar, I go in the trading room at least about 2 times a day. That's an extra 2 hours. And then when I do have time, I go in more often. So you would get from 3 to 5 hours a day with me free every single day. So you can't pay for all of that, guys. Let's be honest. You can't pay for all that time. If you just hire somebody to stand in front of your gate and watch your house, you have to pay them by the hour. If you take their hour payment to the hour payment you will be paying me if you be in my group for 1 year, you're already underpaying me. Right? You're really, really underpaying me. So in that case, I could demand more. Hey, come on. My hourly payment is the lowest in the world. Right? If you're in the group for 3 years, my hourly payment is the lowest in the world. So I'm not asking you to pay me for that. I'm asking you to pay me just for the 6 weeks of the training course of my time. The knowledge is free. And why the knowledge is free? I think some people think I'm very, controversial when I say knowledge you can't pay for because we don't know how that knowledge is going to affect you in any way, form, or shape. When you go to university, you're not paying them for the knowledge. You're actually paying for the service you're getting at the university. The time the professors will be there with you because how much of that knowledge you will absorb, how much you will implement, how much will be useful to you, nobody knows. Right? Nobody knows that. So it's not like you can put a price on that, right? One person might become a super lawyer or a super doctor and make millions of dollars. What's the price for the knowledge? And another person might never ever be, work in that field. So what's the price of that knowledge? Knowledge doesn't have a price. Time has price. When you're paying people for something, you're paying them for the time that they work. That's why when you go to work, they count how much hours you're working. Not what work you're doing. What work you do is the cost of the hour. But you have an hourly time that you get paid for. When you hire somebody to do a job, you count how much hours they're going to do the job, and then you will say, what's the cost for every hour? The hour could cost you from $10 to $1,000 per hour, right? You get payment for your time, not for the quality of the work even you're going to do, because nobody knows what quality of work you're going to give them. Now, I don't intend to reduce the price of my course because I'm not a salesperson. I'm not selling courses, right? Everybody gets that. I've said enough of that. Let's move on. Let's start. Come on, the daily webinar, I think you can skip all of that. You want to listen? Let's start. We're in the dollar index and it's consolidating. This is very important. As this dollar index consolidates, and remember what I said, just breaking this out of the trend is nothing, but that consolidation is significant. If we break out of that consolidation, we could assume that they're first going to break this low, and second, we're going to break this low. What is this low? I think I've showed you that in the daily webinar, right? I'm sorry, I shouldn't say daily, on the daily charts. I've shown you that from the very start. So go back to the 28th of January when I did the very first one. That would be when? This will be the 20th, November, January would be somewhere here. I think we were going up already. Yep, 21st of January, somewhere here. We were going up on this chart. Somewhere here, yeah, 13th, 25th, 27th, 20th. We were on the up please going. And remember what I was saying? While many of the other traders out there and many of the gurus out there were telling you we're going up and dollar index is going to be an uptrend and it's going to go to heaven. And one person specifically criticized me saying, this thing is going to go up. Why is he saying it's going to go down back? See, and by the way, he's an ex-student of mine. So again, you need to come back to the course and learn some more if you're still not in the group, because most of them are still in the group. You need to come back and learn if you're not in the group. If you're taking my thing and share it, then you're sharing it incorrectly. Because like we said, the possibility of testing this low is very, 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 very important. And that is why if this breaks here today, we could expect this to go all the way to this level. Will it go? I don't know, but that's what we look as expectation based on patterns that we know. And that is why we knew that this could break out. So if it breaks out today, we'll take the trade and we'll be trading it to the downside. Now, some of you might have been in the trade already, not in this trade, but specifically in some other trades that we were looking at, because there were flags for you to buy into or sell into. If not, wait for another flag and we will sell. Good. I told you, silver, when it was dropping, that we need a consolidation here before we sell, that this consolidation here would be very, very important before we get sell setups. And I told you this is too small a consolidation to go. Go back and look at those webinars. These are facts. These are things that I mentioned to you. And I said, guys, be careful. If you take small flags here, they could still make a deeper correction. Well, we're in the process of making that deep correction. That means what they're doing is they're setting up the chart for a fall. You can go back and look. When they made this drop, and I think I showed you guys all of this. When they made this, they pull back this deep and then drop. I don't think we're going to go back that deep, but I think we might break this top here, slightly there, and then it might even stay here for a while more, but then we're going to expect this drop. And this is the drop you actually want to catch. Can you trade in these little pieces here? Of course. I took 2 break-even trades in there already, which means trades that I entered, they didn't go my way. I closed them for break-even. And I probably will take a 2 or 3 more because I'm attempting to sell it every time. Because I want to catch that big move. And it's about the longer they consolidate, the higher that probability. Now I'm looking at mostly something like this. So something like this, by the time they get there, would be any sell setup will be going for it. I don't think we have a sell setup today. Let's see. No, we don't have. Actually, you have short-term buy setups. Right, this probably here would have been a short-term buy setup. You can probably get another short-term buy setup here. They will break this top. So, sorry, that's not a straight one. They will break that top. So there's still more to go up. But those are very short-term trades. Now, can they go as much as this height? They can. I'm not expecting them to break this top. If they break that top, that changes the structure. That changes the pattern, not the structure. It changes what pattern we're looking at. It changes this pattern from downside to a running flat for down here and up one more and then downside. So that is all it will do. It will just change the pattern as we have it. Structurally, this thing will still look downside. So right now, what we're looking for is what happens here today. Do we get sell setups? Today, we might not get it. Sometime this week, we could get it. Gold, on the other hand, is not aggressively going up. As a matter of fact, gold is consolidating here, and that means it could fall right now. I don't think we'll go right now. I think we'll probably go back up here and then drop. If you get this, that's a good sell. But right now, it's looking like a sell setup. I just think it's just going to go higher, right? If you look at this, you've got a sharp move up. You're getting consolidation here. You could get this, you could get that, and then you could get a drop. If you get this, this would be a sell setup. Now, short term, it might be a buy here. I don't think this is going to break out, right? This one didn't break out. We knew that was going to be a buy there short term for a flat. It dropped. So we might still see more downside. We might see smaller sideways move here and then downside on the gold. Let's wait and see. Euro, we were looking for the downside, and I said any consolidation, when this starts to consolidate, would be the sell, the bigger sell to the downside. It's not going. They go back up, no consolidation. That is just a pullback. You can still go and break the stop. So this was a buy. And every buy after you break that up, every consolidation is a buy. Because that would confirm that we're going back to this level. And that would negate the possibility for running flat here, which means we will go back with the smaller contracting flats. I think was in here, we're looking at it. Or this smaller running flat. On the contracting flat is on the dollar, is on the pound, is on the dollar index. Right? We'll go back to that one. We can't confirm that as yet, but buy short term, there's buy here. So there was a short buy setup here. There's a short buy setup. There was a flag there. If you get another flag, you can buy again. Pound is the only one I wasn't keen on buying, and I don't think it has gone anywhere in the bigger structure. It's still here. It's still going the same way it was going. So when it came down, we started to buy. When it came down to this level, you can buy. This was a buy setup. I don't know if any of my traders took it. If you took it, you'd have taken this trade from here. This one was, we had that on last week. If this was going to break out, if this piece here was going to break out, that was that trade, but it came lower. So when it came lower, some of my traders sold it. I think they're out already because it didn't go as aggressive as they were expecting. And there was a buy setup here last week, or there was a buy setup here today, which would be this flag, not this entry, this flag here. And as you go higher on that, you'll have to be more careful because you have to look at this channel. Right? You'll have to be very, very careful because you're in the channel. Let me go to the 4 hour. You're in that channel. And as they come, every time it comes to the top of the channel, they could still continue to go. But at some point, they drop back to the low of the channel. And this channel could continue for a while. But as you get higher, as you get above here and you get higher in that channel, the risk to reward and the trades are worse. And the risk of you having a trade that's going to drop is much higher. Right? So it's your choice if you want to trade in that level. I like to trade if I'm getting from the bottom. So when we got this from the bottom, those were trade setups. Short term. If you get any trade here, it's still a trade, but it's short term, which means you take your profit out and wait for it to drop again. And if they don't break out of that channel, then you can continue to buy to the upside. But all will be short term trades. But again, you don't have to buy this because there were better buy setups and other things, or better sell setups and other things. So if I'm looking at this and I said I don't like it, I'm not buying it, that's okay. I would buy the euro, I'll buy the Aussie, I'll buy the ones I like. Aussie is a good buy. Why buy the pound? You can just put your risk on the Aussie, which was a higher guarantee trade to go. Right? Structurally, it's a much better structure. This is not what the pound looks like. See, this is what the Aussie looks like. The pound is looking like this, which means this is going to fall. When you get this goes up. I've been telling you that from the very start of this. You can go back and check it. That this is a structure that will go up, and it's going up. It will break the top and it'll probably go further. So every buy setup you get in the Aussie, you should take it. It's the same risk. You can take the money and risk it on the pound, or you can take the money and risk it on the Aussie. Where would you risk it? Logically, you would just risk it on the Aussie because that's the best one to risk it on. Here is another one. Remember when this went up, we bought it. We didn't get anything. We got out for break even. It dropped. I told you guys, even if they break this low and come back to about the channel, they're still going to go back up. Why? Because we've seen these patterns many times. It's still a buy setup. So now you might be late. This was the buy if you buy it. Now you'd have to wait for another flag here and then take the trade. So if we get another flag, we'll take the trade. You would have to be careful as you come to this stop. There might be one more trade here, and then you'll have to move your stop and take profit. Why? Because this structure, 2 ways we can look at it. Either we're assuming this is a contracting flat, and New Zealand likes to make contracting flat, and this is going up slowly. We have had that case already previously. I've shown you in one of the webinars. Here is a good example of that case, where we had a running flat here, large running flat coming there, and then they had those slow climb, but then they took off, right? So they, one is going to take off. We don't know which one. It could come back and then come back and then come back. This one came back 3 times. This is only 1. This is 1, 2 in the smaller, thing. If this is the contracting flat, if this here is the contracting flat, then they came back once, twice, 3 times. They could go now. It could still come here and come back one more time and still go. Right? If it is a contracting flat. If it is not a contracting flat, then we are in a much complex corrective structure, which means it's going to repeat exactly the same thing, but there will be one more different move. So it will do this. It's going to come back here, go back up, come down, break the low, and then go. That is if we're in a more complex corrective structure. If not, we'll take off. So let's see. If we get a flag today, we'll buy it with the hope that it could take off, right? And we know this pattern is going to break out. So for my traders, those who got this trade, that's amazing. If you got this trade, this is the trade you're looking for. If not, we'll wait for another flag and buy. Swiss, we're looking for the sell. And last week, I think I said, when you see things like this, these are classical sell setups. When they break out, of course, you're a little more cautious. We took off the end shorter because they could make a flag here and do this and do this and do this and then drop. Right? But now they're going down. And if they consolidate under this structure that we have the earlier one, the chances are we would retest this low. So sells here today would be medium term. You probably want to move them to break even and keep them rather than take them off. That is what I would do. If I get a sell setup here, I'll probably move it to break even and either take the break even or it goes all the way to the bottom. Which one? I have no idea. Yen. Yen is kind of going, we expected the running flat, not the way it behaved. It behaved slightly different. We thought this one would end here, come back here, and then go. Well, they're making some kind of a consolidation here. So this could still go, but this would all be a bigger flat. The higher this gets to this level, the more they're conforming a flat that will go up. And by that, I mean come back here one more, then go up. So there is a downside. Either the downside would be they go retest the low. So there's a downside coming in yen this week, right? Let me put this. You might not get the downside in the first attempt. You might only get it in about the second or third attempt, but it's worth taking it. Oh, sorry, what was that? I'll take it off. I don't know what was that, so I'll take it off. Yep. We're looking for the sell here because the sell, especially, what is wrong with this now? Yep. Even if it goes more like this, the sell would either be this and we go up, or the sell would come back and retest the low and we go up. So there is a trade to the downside, either this or either something like this. The higher this go, the higher the probability of that happening. Right? You're learning something, by the way. So let's see how we get this trade today. There isn't a sell setup right now. I can see this coming down, but this is a small flat, so I'll not risk the sell here. I'll wait for it to drop some more, make a flag, and then go for the sell. But I like the sell. CAD came down back again. Like I said, it's making sharp move and sharp down. You really don't get into the trades. There's no way to get it. If you were selling last week, you lost. If you're trying to buy, we bought this. That was a good one. We'll buy in the break of the low again. So if you're looking at CAD structurally, what you had was a sharp move here. And we don't know whether this is something here with a flat or what, but this is not going down as aggressive as we would like to go down. So you're not really getting any good trade setups. The buys are coming off for break even or for small profit. So when it breaks the low again, if it turns, we'll buy again. If they're going to go down more, well, you don't have any sell setup right now. Right? There's nothing to sell there. You have to wait for it to make a flag and then you can sell. By that, it means something like this, and then you can assume you're going to get one more down. Aussie Swiss, buy, continue to buy, look for more flags. Buy Aussie Yen, buy, continue to buy, look for more flags. Sell. Aussie CAD, you're getting a flag for a buy right now. Is it going to go? Well, we saw the Swiss and the Yen go. The CAD might go. It might go a little slower. Right? We know the Swiss and the Yen are moving. CAD is not moving so much. Aussie New Zealand, it's probably still going to climb up. If you're going to buy it, you'll have to have a lot of faith. And you'll have to have a lot of patience. Because it will crawl up. It's just going to crawl up very slow. We don't have any sell setup there. Europound. Europound went up. So last week we told you this one, if you're going to sell this, don't be careful because it might just do this and go right back up to the top here. And when they come to the top there, that's a flat pattern for downside. See? It's that easy. So they made the flat, they broke the low. We got divergence. What are we looking for? Remember, the reason I don't like the sell in this is because of this whole big structure in here. This entire structure. So let me see if I can find one of that structure to show you. I'm going to find a smaller version of it. Here is it. See the smaller version? You get one, then you get 1, 2, 3, and you go up. You get one, then you get 1. You get 2, you get 3, and then you go down. Right? There's a lot more I think you can find, but those would be much bigger ones. So let's see. Here's a good one. This is within the flat, right? You get one, two, three, and then you go up. That's a flat. This one is going to be a flat here, and then you're going to drop. So the closer it comes to this bottom, the higher that probability of it going back up. See? So if you're going to take any sells here, you have to be very, very careful because there's not very good risk to reward. It's short time. If you get a very nice short-term trade, it might be. Right? You can find a lot of that here. Here might be a good example. See that pullback 1, 2, 3. This one did not break the low and then it took off. Now I think this one will break the low and then go back up and then come down, right? So we'll see which one it does. Go back to the 1 hour. Every short-term trade you take, every sell you take, if you took the sell here, I don't see the flag anywhere for a sell. Let me see. Yeah, there was a flag here, by the way. On the break of this, there was a flag. So if you sold that, by the time it break this, you put it to break even. You had another flag here. By the time it comes here, break this one, you put that to break even. And you move it, or you take profit if you have to. You can re-enter the trade. If this turns to the upside today, we would look for buy setup. If they consolidate, and the more likelihood is they'll consolidate here. If they consolidate it today, tomorrow, maybe you will get a trade to the downside, retest this low. Right? Once they get there, you have to take profit. If they do, you will have to take profit because by the time they get there, it's turning point. Euro yen. Okay, well, finally they broke the top. We wanted them to break the top. I think I'd shown you this pattern. I took it off because I had to do some work in the trading room, but we had this. Then we had 1, 2, 3, this one. Remember this one, 1, 2, 3, and came down back for this one. Go back and check the webinars, you're going to see. And then the next thing I said is when they come down here, they will have to go break the top. So we have got every single part of that forecast starting from this point here, starting from here, the 28th of January. Starting from the 28th of January from this point, we drew those arrows for you. We tell you this one is going to go a little up. We tell you this one was going to come down. We tell you this one is going to go back up there. And then we said there's a very high probability for them to fall. So we've got every part of that forecast absolutely perfect. So you need to go check it. Go back. The webinars are recorded. You can watch them. If this is your first webinar you're watching, go back and watch them. All right? What is going to happen at this point now? So let's look at the bigger structure. This is what we have. Let me give you guys a little details of how this works. So on the bigger structure, we're expecting this to come and break this top. That's the minimum. This should continue to go and break that top. That's the biggest structure. It's upside. And we were expecting this thing to go up very fast. I didn't think they were going to go so slow and it would be this messy. Right? We're expecting it to go very fast. So let's see if this is going up and what it's doing. So on the daily, we're in the uptrend. Right? We're in the uptrend of the daily, but we've got some sharp moves like this one that aren't really fitting into the structure that much. But if you put it with this one, you could say, well, okay, we've got a running flat there, which means this should go up. But then when this started to go up, we got this. And then we got a sharp one there. So we can either look at it two ways. We can either assume, because you might have to take a long time to count it, that this by itself is the correction and this one is going up. That was the assumption we had at the very start when we were buying it. But when you go in the 4 hour and you look at it, if that was the case, this one should have been taking off like a rocket. Very rarely they do that, go very slow, then take off. But to have confidence that it is going to end up at being there, that big move, you want to see that takeoff. So when they start slow, what we want to see is a sharp takeoff like this, and then a consolidation to confirm it. Not just a takeoff, a consolidation to confirm it. We haven't got that as areas yet. But breaking this top might be a good sign. They can either take off now. If we get a flag, we'll buy above the top. If you don't get any flag, they'll come back, retest the low. And then we would assume that this is the pattern because these are smaller patterns of their own. And in that case, this becomes the buy. Now the buy is very valid. So if they come back to this low, the buy becomes a much better buy than if they start just go up, make flag, and then go. But both of them will be buy setups. Do we have a sell setup if it starts to fall? If it starts to fall, yes, we will look for a short-term trade to break this low and then go back up. So which of those two scenarios are going to develop today? Will we get a flag here for a buy? You can go to the 1 hour and wait for that. If you get flags, you can buy, because some of my traders took this buy in that flag and they know it was a short-term trade, so they should already have it at break even. If we get another flag, we will buy. But for that, I would rather a much bigger flag than just 4 candles, maybe about 20 candles sideways. That means tomorrow only that trade will be valid if I get it. Euro Swiss, stay away from this. It's in the middle of this big consolidation, so the best thing you can do is stay away from it, because there's no buy or sell setup on the 1 hour. Euro Oz, more sells. So if you get another flag, so this one we were debating. I think when I did the webinar itself, I actually had it like this, which was a little incorrect, and we thought it will go higher. But then when we went back and we look at all the other providers of feed, this only is on the FXCM, I think. The rest of the charts didn't have it, so we just put it like that. I think that could be an FXCM effect, and that means we were looking for a sell setup. And again, we're still looking for sell setups. If you get another flag here, you can sell again. Right? The more flags you get, the more you can sell. Let's go. That is the Euro Oz. Euro New Zealand, sell setup. So you can see this, we expect it to go more. If you get a flag, there was a flag already, but you might have missed it. I think we all missed it. Right? This is earlier. So when it drops, it makes another flag you can sell. We're expecting this to go down some more before it goes back up. Euro CAD, you're getting a sell setup now. And this is a good one because you could assume that this whole up move, come on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ends, and this is going to go down, make a flag here. That would be a good sell setup. I think it's worth taking. We're still expecting this to come back, at least back to this level. That's like the minimum, and then we'll see how low it goes. So that might be a good sell setup. Break this low and then go back up. That's what we were expecting. So what we were expecting last week was this would come here, break the low, and then start to move again. That's a possibility. We can see if we get a trade today, it would be a good trade. You just need a flag there for a trade, and then you can look for a sell. It doesn't have a flag, but it looks like a running flat, a small running flat is making right now, right? You've got that sharp one, you're getting this coming down, they can go back up, and that would be a sell setup. Sorry, EuroCAD. Yes, Pang Oz. Pang Oz, you're getting a very good sell setup. Once this breakthrough, you can look for this trade. Once it breaks this low, if you get in the trade and it breaks this low, let's say you get in the trade here and it breaks that low, what you're going to do is you're going to move it to break even. Because when they break the low, they tend to consolidate. If they start to consolidate after that again, what you're going to have is a channel, and those channels tend to go up. So how this develop, we'll see. But it's short-term sell setup. Pang Yen took off. So this could have been a buy if you were buying. It actually is getting very aggressive now from where we had it. So remember what I said. Most times, 90% of the time, these go down. So when you're at the top here, you don't buy. We didn't buy when we were at the top there. Once it breaks out of the top and it starts to get aggressive, you can buy short term, but to confirm that they're going to tag the bigger top, you want to see them do this. This would confirm the bigger move up, because it could go tag the bigger top, and there are 2 reasons why. If you look, and I think I showed you this in a number of webinars, if you look at this flat as 1, this is a slow climb. You just have to be very cautious when you're at the top here. That's where you don't want to buy. You want to wait for this to pull back, and then you buy. That will give you a good buy. They could come all the way to this top. So all the tops we're showing you there. But the chances of this falling is still there, right? That has not changed unless you get that consolidation. That is what confirms it, right? The consolidation negates the fact that they're going to go down and says, well, there's more upside. All you were getting were small buy setups that we showed you, right? Like this one, small up move. This is a small buy. This one was a small buy. That became a break even. This is a small buy. If you're in the trade, you would want to definitely move your stop very, very tight, because at this point, it could come right back down here again and then go. Or it could even drop. Either of those 2 possible. So you can stay with the trade, but move your stops. If it starts to fall, if it starts to go sideways, and they pull back deep most times in the sideways. So you would be out of trade and you can re-enter again. Pang New Zealand, still going sideways, and it's at a very nice place for a sell setup. We keep breaking this top. once, we keep it, but we're not going up very aggressively. We're going up more like this. So that's a sell setup back to this level, at least back to this level. Right? If they're going to stay in this channel, they don't have to, but if they're going to stay in this channel, they could come back to this level, and this might all be some big flat here. See this piece? That might be some big flat for one more up. I don't think this is ending the structure. It could be ending the structure, some kind of an ending diagonal structure there. Right? I think you all see that. It's possible that, but I don't think so. And there are reasons why I don't think so. You could look at this as a running flat here. You could look at this as a 1, 2, 3. This ends the structure and we're coming down. Well, good for us. Actually, if it is going to break out of this bigger move, that is a good thing. So let's look for a sell setup. This is a very good trade if we get a sell setup there. We don't have a sell setup as yet, but as soon as we get a sell setup, we'll take the trade. Pound Swiss, this is a buy. So if you wanted to buy the pound Swiss, I said that last week, and I think the same thing. If you really wanted to buy anything on the pound, buy the pound Swiss, because you have a confirmed pattern for upside. Right? See the difference in this pattern? This was coming down to go up. So this is a high probability trade. And when you get trade like this, very high probability trade. How high this thing can go, we can come back all the way to this trend line. That's the daily trend line. So if we get more flags here, we'll continue to buy. Pound CAD, it's going to go up, but it's going really, really slow. Right? So there is a chance that we will get to the top here. A very good chance we'll get to the top here. And then we'll see the drop. So if they do that today, we'll start to look for a sell setup, because in this bigger picture, we're expecting them to go down back once more to this level, right? I've shown you this pattern many times, sorry. New Zealand yen, okay, it still didn't come down. We were expecting a breakdown. It didn't come. It started to come down, but it didn't break out of this. Take this off. It's going back up. Is there a change in the structure for upside? I don't see it. We saw this small one here, but I don't see, they're breaking the top. I still don't see the change, it's structural change for upside. I could see this now as a running flat. I could see this piece here as some kind of a running flat. That is possible. You're breaking the top, but I don't see structure. This, we still don't have this piece. So there's still a chance that they could come back and do this. So if you bought this here, this was a very short-term trade. If you bought this, you've got to put it to positive. Yep, actually you would have bought this one, right? Because if you bought the first one, you take it off already. If you bought this here anywhere, you took this off and there was a buy here. So let it go up, break the top, and if they keep consolidating, keep buying, but all the trades are short terms. If it starts turning for the downside, that would be a good trade. If you get a turn for the downside, that would be an amazing trade. New Zealand Swiss, still consolidating, nothing here. We broke the low already. This was a small one, they broke the low. Take that off. Let's see if we have upside. You broke the low, so going up is okay, but we don't have a buy setup. This probably would have been one, but it pulled back too fast, so I think we either wait for a flag here and then buy. Something like this. That would be like, this was a good sell. Wait for a flag, you'll get a good buy. New Zealand CAD. Still upside, and you might be getting that upside now. Very nice. You can see this. They came, they break the low. Again, you keep hearing me say they came, they break the low. See? Broke the low, and now you're turning. So if you get a flag here, go for the buy. Not only would it go here, there's a chance it could break out. There's a very high chance you could break out of this structure and go way back up to the top. So this could be a bigger up move. If you get a flag here today, and we will be looking for a flag, you get a buy setup, take the trade. That's something we would take. Sorry, I shouldn't say take the trade. That's like a trade call. I'm not making trade calls. I'm giving you my views and my analysis of where the charts is going to go. I'm also not telling you how and when you can get in the trade, because you will have to have a strategy for that. And we don't discuss our strategies in here. CAD yen. Okay, this didn't go lower. We were expecting it to go a little lower first. I was personally expecting it to come here and then go up, making this flat. But that didn't happen, so let's see what happened. Take this off. Okay, it didn't come here, so can we go with a contracting flat? Not the best one. It wouldn't be the best contracting flat around, but you can make an argument for that. For today's trade, you would have to wait for a flag. You'd have to wait for this to make a correction, and then you can look for buy setups. Right? There is no buy setup in it right now. CAD Swiss. Okay, CAD Swiss made 1, 2, 3. This is coming higher. It still is possible an expanding flat. I don't think this is the smaller flat in here and we're going up. Well, if it goes up, you can buy it in any case. Well, I shouldn't say you can buy it. It's not worth buying. Because once they break that top, they're coming down back. So if this is an expanding flat, which I think very likely it could be, we'll wait for it to turn and then we'll look for a sell setup, which would have to be under here or on a flag on the way down. Either under there or on a flag on the way down. So if it is an expanding flat, the sell is a good idea. If it is going to break the top, let it break the top, then look for the sell setup. Swiss yen going up and up, but this pattern is not quite clear because you've got this one sharp move that is not fitting into anything right now. It's not making sense at that point, so stay away from this until it makes sense to you. It's not making sense to me as yet. Maybe there will be more parts that will put together and make sense. Copper is still going up. You had a buy here. If you bought this, you can put that to break even. It's going to continue to go, and there's a lot for copper to go. I showed you that. It could come all the way to this top. It doesn't have to, but it could. So once you have buy setups, you take it. Okay, there was a buy setup here. So last week, remember this running flat. This one, I said you have to be careful. You don't want to sell it. You just want it to come here, make a running flat. That was a good buy setup. If anybody bought that, you did excellent. This was a really good buy setup here. And you got it in the UK oil as well. Same running flat pattern. Same running flat pattern here we showed you last week, right? For upside. So you keep getting more upside here. So let's see how far this could go. It could still go. There's still a lot more to go, right? There's still a lot more. We broke all the lows here, so this could still continue to go much higher. Even if you're going to make a running flat, with some of my traders are looking at that possible pattern, for this to be a 1, a 2, and a 3 somewhere back here, right? Somewhere there. And then probably come back down like this. I don't know that is a possibility. We don't know that as yet. But if that is going to be a possibility, then there's still a lot more upside to go. So what you can do is every hourly flag you get, you can take the trade. So you had an hourly flag here, you're getting another hourly flag. Wait for this to finish, and then you can look for a trade again if it consolidates there. Natural gas, nothing. Stay away from it for now. It's still consolidating here. Okay, this was a buy, and it's still a buy, short term. All of them are short term trades. You can see that you're going to get a flag here. You can buy. That would be short term trade. On the 1 hour, you can see they start to consolidate. This is a nice consolidation. You're getting another one there you can buy. Same here. You got the running flat we're looking for. This one actually went up slow, which should have given me a little warning. I probably wouldn't have traded this because this should go fast. When they go slow like that, I'm caution, right? S&P 500 had the same one, but you could have taken this one. The only reason you take this trade if is to come back and tag this top, right? Go back and tag that top. And then if you take this one, that's a good one, right? Because when you're in this thing, it's kind of triangular squeeze. I don't think this itself is a triangle. It's kind of a triangular squeeze. They would either break this way or they'll come back to the low, make a flag and drop through that and give you a flat and then go up. All right, those are variations. But the breakout is a good one. DAX, more buys. Right, this one here could be a good buy if you want. You're going to get more buy here, at least to break the top. They will break the top and go a little more. See, this was the sell. Take that off. While we're under this, then they go up. So let's see how far it goes. Make a new high. It's going to continue to make some more new highs. Aussie 200. You're getting a buy setup right now. Right, it's breaking out of the consolidation. You're getting a flag, so that's a buy setup. Nifty didn't drop. You didn't get anything here. Take this off. It was consolidating, so that was if it's going to drop. The consolidation turned out to be a contracting flat. It could be a buy. Short term, you might go a little more. Just have to be careful. But Nifty keeps pushing higher, so might be worth it. Tesla. So we'll go back up now. It's becoming a much, much bigger consolidation. With this bigger one here, who's going to come back here. Probably going to have a big one here. And then you might end up having a much, much, much long drawn out consolidation in here. But right now, you're getting a buy setup, which is back to this top at least. And Amazon. It's coming down some more, right? So let's see. We wanted to come back at least to retest this low. Or this low, one of those two lows, then go back up. So we're going to look at the internals of this as it's developed, and then we'll tell you what we think. But right now, it's still going sideways. More sell setups. Look for flag sell. Okay, this wasn't much of a flag. This was just a sharp move down. So this would be difficult to trade, but this one would be easy. You got to be careful. They could get another sharp one and then go. So if you're buying this flag, if you bought that flag, you have to be careful. Put it to break even because they can come right back and make a running flat and then go. Reliance, we're back at the top. So just wait. I think this is becoming a much more complex correction. I don't think we're going back to the upside as yet. I don't see that possibility because we're still within. We still haven't broken this low. Oh, we broke it slightly. So I really don't like the buy setup as yet. These short-term trades will be very short-term. If it starts to drop, it would make sense, which means you'll get a good risk to reward trade. When I say it makes sense, I think I need to explain myself sometimes. Good. So Bitcoin went up and now it's coming down. So I think we could be expecting some kind of a running flat here. Right. If we look at it this way, see this one is a flat in the middle with a 1, 2, 3. We've got a 1, 2, 3 here. So this one is small, but if you get a 2 here and you come for a 3, this would be a short-term sell, but this will become a running flat for one more up. Those running flats you've seen here is a good one. Not a perfect one, but a good one. Those running flats pattern. Where do you think this is going to drop, but then it becomes a running flat? Can it come lower for this one here? Not sure. At least not as yet. So let's see. You're getting a short-term sell. You should have a short-term sell, and then you should get out because you could get a buy setup. Can it go from here? The question is, can this be the running flat and they go from there? That is also possible. If you think that is what it's going to do, you have to look for a buy setup with an impulse and a flag here in the 1 hour. So you'll have to wait for this to go, wait for it to make a flag, and then get into that trade. That would confirm that this is all for the running flat. Can it go lower? I'm more inclined to believe they can go a little lower. XRP coming back down, so we should probably get. You're in the downside now. If you want to sell it, you can sell. But you would watch. I would watch this area here, which means it can fall from here to there, and then we will see. That is the buy area. Ethereum coming down. I think we could consider this to be the top. That could be the top. There is a flag here actually, and you've got a lot of corrections in here. So this could be the top, and we're going down. If we're going down, where are we going to? Well, there's quite a lot of downside if they're going to go down. So every correction you get there could be a sell setup. Every correction they make here would be a sell. If it's going to go back up, where would they buy? You're not going to buy here. You're going to wait for this to do this, wait for it to make a flag, and then buy. Right? But if they consolidate to the bottom here, that becomes a good sell. LTC. Okay, more downside, and I think this could go more too. You consolidate here, you can go with the sell. I think this one has a big pattern in the daily for downside, right? Yeah, we broke that top, so this could go down quite a lot. This could come and retest this low again. So look for that sell setup. If you started to get sell setup from there, that's a good one. You wait for another flag, you sell again. If they're going up, you don't have a buy setup here. All right. If it is going to go up back from here, you just can't buy it with the hope it's going to go. You'll have to let it go up, make a flag, and then say, okay, you're going to get one more impulse. Because if you buy here, that's hoping it's going to go. Right? You're saying, well, I think this thing is going to go, and then let me hope because it could still drop. I think that's about it. So once again, reminder to all of you, if you've just watched it to the end, please share, please like, please comment. And if you like the video, if you watch it to the end, my assumption is you like the video, right? So I'm hoping you can share and comment and like and help another trader get to see it. Right? If you like it, somebody else might like it. So thank you very much. I will see all of you tomorrow. And my traders, I'll see you in just a few seconds.